man, Brian Brown. Played for Fitzroy, so I've always been a Lion. It's in my blood. Some kids want to be astronauts or rock stars. All I ever wanted to do was play for the Lions. I remember going into the rooms to get Lynchy's autograph. Yeah. And the next thing, I'm playing alongside the legend. Couldn't believe it. It's who I am. And how lucky we were to be coached by Lee Matthews, our general. At times you'd walk into pre-game meetings with your tail between your legs. And then you'd walk out full of belief, ready to take on the world.
What you've learned is how hard to push the opposition into submission. That is the basis of this team.
He wouldn't want me saying this, but he had a soft spot, Lethal. I remember going up the race for our first grand final in 01. We were his boys. And I remember him turning and yelling out, he loved us.
Lee Matthews has done the impossible. Brisbane have won the premiership.
Fags is the father figure up there now. The smile, the empathy he shows, that quiet determination from the Tassie Tiger. I don't know what it is, but it works. We have the Fab Four, Voss, Lappin, Acker and Blackie. But this crew has its own in Neil, McCluggage, Dunkley and Will Ashcroft. Will Ashcroft reminds me of Simon Black, both with Normie sitting at home.
Hang on, is this?
Choppers would be proud. Harris Andrews, legs like a giraffe, heart of Farlap. He's a premiership captain just last year, but he's gone to another level, a bit like Lepper. The young blokes, yes, they're young, but they're also tough and love the big stage.
He's a star, this kid.
This kid Morris, he goes all right. And don't forget about Levi.
It's an Ashcroft there.
And Fletcher, another son of a gun.
He's getting better every week.
Darcy Wilmot. He plays with an infectious energy that drags the other boys along. Keeps putting his finger in your ear.
He does that every time.
What about this bloke? My mate Tink, Dane Zorko.
And again, and again.
He's the Chris Johnson of this generation. Both gunslingers with nerves of steel. I love Tink. Josh Dunkley. Tough bastard. Full stop. Selfless. Hard-working. Athletic. Inspiring.
Cool hands, going good now.
He reminds me of my mate Nigel Lappin, now a coach at the Cats. That's right, the Cats. Yeah, they're in this too. Under master coach Chris Scott, who'll rival Lee Matthews' record if he wins another. I always wanted to be in the trenches with Scotty. His passion and ruthlessness has translated well to the coach's box. But it's his intelligence and his ability to pick opponents apart that most makes him like lethal. But at day's end, the Lions have an advantage. It's made from two. The heart of a Roy boy and the spirit of a Queenslander.
They are football's invincible. Walking on thin ice to dancing on the mountain.
The Lions produce the domination to make the golden era proud.
That is right from the heart. What a beautiful piece.
Yeah, magnificent.
How good was that?
Yes, Alastair Lynch, welcome.
Wiping the tears away.
Oh, mate, that was fantastic. I'm tipping Brownie hasn't written it, but no, he's done a great job. That was a fantastic piece. Slightly weighted towards the Brisbane Lions, but great recognition of Geelong as well.
Do you see this group in the image of what you guys were able to achieve?
Yeah, you do see it. You see this enormous trust and respect of each other, and there's just a bond that's built. Like over the last 7 years, you've seen it form, and then you've just been able to pluck a couple of players and put in to that team, and you had Josh Dunkley in. I mean, what a mature age recruit to drop into that team, and now you're seeing the next evolution come through. Like, they're still right in the window now to win flags, but you've got this bunch of 22-year-olds and under that are coming through and playing some great footy. So no, it's exciting. It does make you think back to those halcyon days 20 years ago.
That fusion of the generations is the best part of it, because there'd been a tendency to look as the ageing champ, but they're not that. They have this core, and Wilmot is the energy in all of it. And Ty Gallop rises at that moment. So this is the makings of, it's not just Saturday, this is the makings of the next stretch.
Yeah, and I suppose that's the challenge as a coach and a leader in the group, is to allow those younger or different types to be themselves. And you look back to the way maybe Lee handled Acker. You know, you got different personalities in this group. You know, the buzz of Darcy Wilmot doing the wet willies to the coach in his press conferences. I mean, yeah, they're being allowed to be themselves, they're expressing themselves on the field, and there's this bond and trust. And certainly Fags has set that up beautifully with his leadership group.
So I'll ask you about Fags in a moment, because you know him so well, but the coach of the other mob you also know really well. And I know we don't need to caution you against anything. I mean, Chris Scott's been able to do some remarkable stuff with the Geelong Football Club, and he's got them right where they need to be.
Yeah, I mean, Scotty's got that. He's a great thinker of the game, and Brownie referenced similar to Lee Matthews. I think what Chris does that is similar, and some of his press conferences he regurgitates a few of Lee's words, but what he does well is makes the most complicated sound simple. You go, oh yeah, and that's the thing Lee used to do in meetings and pre-game. He'd say something and go, oh geez, why didn't I think of that? But he makes it so clear, you know what to go and do. And the way Scotty's reinvented this team, and you know, their tactics is one thing, but getting them all to understand it is another. But have you ever seen a team get free players in their forward 50 as much as this mob?
No, well, I think that's the variety and the fact that they all know what they're doing and everyone else doesn't.
Yeah, that's incredible. So Scotty's done an amazing job to do this over an extended period.
Look at that record. That is just mind-blowing. So he wins a flag in his first game. They miss in 2015, and then have a look what happens after that.
Yeah.
Now, no one saw the 2023 drop-off, but that has become a bit of what happens these days, and maybe we get an appreciation for what it takes to get there and win one. But they're back. They're back in 2 years' time. It is just incredible.
What makes Fags special?
You talk about trust and bond. I think you talk about, coaches have got to be good at a lot of things, but what he's got this faith and this belief in his players. And there's examples you see every month in the team. You know, someone might be out of form, and we might be from the commentary box saying, well, you've got to drop this person, needs to run in the twos or something like that. But Fags is that person who'll put the arm around and trust them and just back them in, and more often than not, he gets it right. And I think we see he's getting the reward now for rebuilding this club and putting faith and trust in these players to bring them back together. And so he had to repair the group to start with. But it's basically, I think of Chris Fagan as he's put the arm around and I'll back you in. I'll support you all the way. I think that's his greatest strength.
And they play in his image. They're a humble lot, this Brisbane side, and we had Chris, he was the coach of the year as voted by his peers, and he just deflected and deferred to everyone else.
Yeah, I mean, he does that. And I understand why he does that. But you've got to empower those people around you to do their jobs and all that sort of stuff. So he's that sort of nurturing type and empowering type. So he does it exceedingly well. And he gets uncomfortable when you're talking about him, and he doesn't want to be about him. But the reality is you need great leaders like that, and he's doing a fantastic job.
So your generation was able to win the 3 in a row. Yeah. What would it mean, do you think, to be in this era where back-to-back is proving so difficult and only the great teams, Hawthorn and Richmond, have been able to do it? What would it mean if they were able to complete this quest on Saturday?
It'd mean so much, because I think you look at this year and they've had challenges, like a lot of clubs have, but they've had challenges with injuries. And for the first 2/3, you're thinking, well, they're just not in that great a form. They were doing enough to win. And I remember Fags bristled at one stage. So, well, we are second on the ladder. What do you mean we're not consistent? But what they've been able to do is these young groups come through, and they've got burst players. So, they can just rip you apart in 10 minutes. So, if they were able to get this done again, it's one of the great premierships to be able to do it on the back of the challenges they've had. And then you get your dual Brownlow medalist passing a fitness test to play in a grand final when he was 1% chance of playing.
And they get through and they get Oscar Allen and Sam Draper and a couple of kids through the academy. Look out.
Well, that's the evolution of, say, Fags as a coach as well. Players were running away from the club.
Yeah.
Now it's a destination club where players are ringing, knowing they'll get less pay, but they want to be a part of it.
They're going to get it done?
I'm confident they are. Yeah. I mean, two great sides, obviously, but I can just picture the Rayner or Bailey or one of these players just having big moments. And you talk about the faith. We've seen bits and pieces of Charlie Cameron, but he's someone who could just jump up. I mean, Fags has backed him in.
He's up. He's up.
Yeah.
He is.